Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Market Check, brought to you by BB. There is no second best daily YouTube live stream to talk about markets. Welcome, guys. It's like we're in this perpetual yin-yang cycle of we are so back. It is so over. Today, we are on the latter stage, it seems. But I'm Tommy. You guys also know me as Snorlax. I'm, of course, joined by Max, Unbothered Jackus, and Louis Tuesday. Welcome to you guys. I hope everybody in the audience is having a great start to the week. We are back at prices not seen since last week. Of course, we are getting some volatility today. I think that
since yesterday.
Since yesterday. Wow. Like I said, it's so over. We're so back. Jack has kind of already stole my copy pasta in the pre-show. You guys didn't see it, but I'm completely out of the cryptocurrency market. I've sold everything. Life has dreams. Each is wonderful. But enough joking, guys. We're going to have a great show today. Obviously, the market is red today. We're going to discuss the implications of that, why that's happening, and of course, how we expect the next few weeks to trade. But before we can do that, we're going to need you to smash the like button. And yeah, I made a joke about it yesterday. We still had to look at the soybeans, even though we were green yesterday. So please smash the like button for us today so that we do not have to look at soybeans and so that we can just cook you guys up alpha pertaining directly to this market and how this dump will inevitably resolve out of here. But yeah, to like I always say, to get into things a little bit more granularly, majors have taken a beating since Bitcoin had that big move above 100K to start the year. We traded into 102, and now we're back down into 98K. Back, like Jack has said, to levels not seen since the weekend, since yesterday. But of course, important levels for this market to hold if it wants to see immediate term bullish continuation. Continue to believe that the Trump inauguration will serve as a bullish catalyst for this market, not just for risk and the inevitable stimulus that will be injected during the first 100 days, but also the contextual factors relating to the DXY. Which continues to cause problems for markets, right? It's not exactly very strong today. We might have gotten some data, but of course, when the dollar is staying this elevated, it makes things very difficult for risk assets to pump. It's not my cup of tea, but of course, we've had a lot of weakness in bonds as well here over the last week. So that's probably worth paying attention to, maybe something worth discussing, in addition to, of course, the coin carnage that we are seeing today. Guys, they are eating the coins. If you know, you know. But welcome to the show, guys. I'd love to know what we're thinking in the market, how we're viewing things, of course, in the wake of this little move that we've had this morning. Guys, how are we doing? And of course, what are we seeing in the markets?
All right, guys, stay calm. Stay calm. Everyone stay fucking calm, guys. No. Very normal price action within the range. Yesterday people got too excited within it. Today people are panicking too much. While nothing ever really happens, right? So I'm kind of enjoying it because we know what's coming if you zoom out. But obviously, since we've been stuck here forever, people take these drops quite personally. But if you've been around for a while, it's just another day in crypto, to be honest. So yeah, enjoying the memes, because the memes are the best when market drops, and you gotta enjoy both days, right? And as I said, it is very stressful to be in the market, but it is even more stressful to be out of the market. So you need to pick your positions. So that you feel alrighty with the outcome.
Yeah, it's fuck, just annoying, man. I don't know, just genuinely annoying. I am bothered by this. I'm annoyed by it. They keep selling my coins. But I mean, it's fine. It's just like I'm ready for a little bit of a trend, man. I feel like we've been ranging for a while. We were talking about the scenario of like, if there's a hedge spot, it was kind of like that Monday pump, right? But the hope was that, it wouldn't be it wouldn't be more continued ranging. And I think, fortunately, we are going to continue to range for a little bit. Unless we really like spring back out of this little, gully. But I think the recovery needs to be pretty quick. Otherwise, then we're probably now, we had enough of a kind of a positional unwind from the buys that came in yesterday where I feel like now we're going to have to reset for, a week or two, which is kind of just annoying, right? Like it doesn't change anything. I'm just like, can we just fucking trend already? Like, can we just get a trend going? Enough euro scalping at, range extremes, right? Like it would just be great to get a trend, but we know that markets, they range more or less like 80 or 90% of the time, and they trend for very small minority. So I don't know. It is what it is, right? I'm not going to fade seasonality. One morning Jeet based off of some what was it? There were some ISM numbers that came in hotter than expected, or whatever the fuck you want to catalyze it by. I don't think it. Again, we always talk about like being able to acutely distinguish the difference between like a local bias and a high time frame swing bias. And again, I'm this is a prime example. I'm seeing a lot of people conflating their local feelings and their local emotions from today's set of price action with now modifying a high time frame bias because of a 4-hour candle, right? So I think it's just really important to be like, yeah, you know what, like that is annoying, right? Of course, we couldn't have any follow through on yesterday's bullish candle, which we knew was a possibility given that we were at range extremes, but it doesn't change a high time frame bias, positional bias. So I think it's just again important to kind of take a step back and be like, all right, yeah, annoying. Does it actually change anything for like a Q1 position? No, right? But I'm tired, boss. I'm ready to start trending. These Euro
Listen,
scalpers, they're killing me, man.
the jitters of today are the FOMO buyers of tomorrow.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's real.
Yeah.
That's real. I mean, I'll tell you what, we took out a lot of local liquidity on both Bitcoin and ETH on this move. I mean, we had some stacked liquidity. I have the heat mats up if you want to bring me up here. But we had a lot of stacked liquidity below us, both Bitcoin and ETH. This is your Bitcoin 3-day liquidity heat map brought to you by BB Terminal. But I mean, listen, we had a lot of stack below us, and we took that, right? And the market makers are going to continue to swing this market and take liquidity from people from late longers and stuff like that, and leverage traders until we get our trending market, right? That's just what's going to happen. And we've seen this before. Whether or not we spring out of this or not remains to be seen. Like Tommy mentioned, we have a dollar still kind of rising a little bit here locally. I think we're in the area where the DXY tops, but it can chop around this level for a week, a couple weeks, right? That's what we saw in 2017. So until then, right, until we get our initial, return for Bitcoin and a break of our range on ETH, they're going to continue to swing this market in both directions, right? Like, cause I guarantee there's a lot of shorts that got blown out. On yesterday's move, and today they're taking out the longs, right? And ultimately we're kind of just ranging, still working on getting out and continuing our trend higher. So, right now just looking like liquidity sweeps, right? If you go to the lower time frame for the heat map on Bitcoin, not this one. Which one was it? Was it the 24-hour? Okay. I saw it somewhere. Maybe it was ETH. But it looks as if a lot of it on the lower time frame is back to the upside now. So we'll see what happens. But But again, like let's go to the 3-day on ETH as well. You know, we had a lot of stacked liquidity right below. Like that's going to be taken out almost every time before we get a real move, right? Like trading leverage and trying to catch free rides on pumps is the perfect recipe to deplete all your capital and lose money in a bull market. Leverage is not your friend. It should just be used as a tool when, you know, in the right environments. And if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to lose all your money in an environment where likely we see everything kind of trend to the upside. So again, we had liquidity to the downside stacked more than we did to the upside. And the market did what it did. We had a nice cleansing. I'm sure we'll start to see the tweets come out of like the hundreds of millions of dollars liquidity that was just taken from the market, like we always do. And then we'll see. You know, we'll see today how today plays out. But again, just sweeping liquidity here locally. And on equities, we saw some backfills because we made some gaps on yesterday's jump, right? We made some gaps. We filled some gaps to the upside, to the downside, I mean. And we're already seeing some low time frame reversal for equities as well. So we'll see how it plays out. We will. I mean, like we've seen, pumps off the market open get sold off immediately. So we could easily see dumps off the market open get bought up immediately as well. So, we got to let today play out. But I think today is important to see, where we are going headed, at least for the next week or two.
Yeah, and I think if you look at the structure on Bitcoin, where we rejected isn't necessarily surprising. Is what I would say. I was kind of expecting some reversion lower on ETH, but truthfully, I was a little bit taken aback this morning by how deep we dumped on ETH. So, like you said, Louis, I do think it will be pretty interesting here over the next probably 24 to 48 hours to see whether this market's going to be showing a quick buyback or, of course, whether we're going to show continued weakness.
Yeah, I don't think that this looks too bad, honestly. It's definitely like a big flush. What I want to probably avoid is like I don't even mind retesting the 2025 opens, right? I was truly like kind of hoping that we would be done and just kind of like leave that yearly open price behind us. But I mean, I think it's possible that we come back and put in another little deviation below the 2025 opening tick. But I'm still hoping to avoid it. Like I'm cautiously optimistic that we will. We can definitely take a look at some of that too. Should probably get a chart up on the screen here, guys. As pretty as all of us are, I think people want to see some charts. So let's do that. But
I'd love to look at equities as well today, guys, because I was also expecting a bit of a reversion here on the Qs. On ES, I'd like to see the Qs hold here and begin to move higher again. And I'd also like to see the VIX strength really start to dissipate. I think that's a huge bit of this environment as well.
I would totally agree with that. Looking at ETH here, so here was the issue that I think caught a lot of people. Well, let's put it this way. There's a lot that's happening right now because like it's January 7th, right? This was really more or less like the range that I was watching here. But it seems like they use this little node, as just like a really predatory trap. Like that was brutal, man. Because like there's definitely a couple of ways to look at this where you could say like, hey, this was your range and like range breakout. But now, once this trap was kind of set here, overnight, you can see that now we're kind of like trying to put in a bounce at the mid-range. I like this level a lot because, I mean, this is mega demand right here. Like this whole cluster, which was, over the holidays or like finishing up Christmas week, this led to expansion. So this is technically like a little retest of, a cluster that sent us higher. So I don't think it looks bad, right? It's just kind of like, damn, like what I really want to avoid is, doing this. Now we put in a deviation of the low. And then, I mean, I just don't want to spend the whole month of January ranging. I'm not concerned that this range would break, but on a personal side, I do not want to deal with with this again. You know what I mean? And it wouldn't necessarily be this long. This was 2 months, right? But what I mean by this is, we spent so much time like playing ping pong, right? And I mean, there's ETH loves to do this kind of thing, right? I mean, this is a better example right here. This is a better example of what I think could happen, at least from like a timing perspective. This one took about a little over a month, but this is a prime example of like we deviated the high like we just did, and then deviating the low, and then it just takes so much time to kind of rebalance. That's what I just do not want to deal with, right? Can I deal with it? Will I deal with it? Of course I will. I'll be here every single day. But damn, it just would suck to go back down there, right? And I don't think we have to, because we spent so much time like building this mega demand right here. I think there's a decent chance it could hold. Additionally, we've got a nice order block that initially held price up right here. So I don't think we need to come back to range low, right? Like beautiful little order block. Then we had mega demand, and now we're retesting it right at our mid range. I'm cautiously optimistic we could hold, but this really kind of is like a gotta hold it level, right? Like if you start kind of sliding down into here, well, that's not going to be so fun, to be honest, right? But I'm hoping that we don't have to do like a symmetrical deviation to the downside. And I know how ETH likes to bottom. I watch ETH a lot. So I mean, this is your kind of gotta hold it level until until further notice. But let's take a look at equities. Tommy was talking about the Qs or the NASDAQ. And let's put the VIX down below, right?
The VIX does, I will say, look pretty damn good.
Pretty damn good for who?
Well, just
So
from a chart standpoint, VIX looks fairly bullish, but obviously we did have some economic data this morning that could more or less be skewing that. So just like some of the coins, I think you have pretty good confluence here. You want to see strength out of the coins. You want to see the VIX start to get crushed here.
I think that the VIX, I mean, one, I don't really think that this region on the VIX should get breached. I mean, it shouldn't, right? If we're going to continue trending up, you just want to see this kind of act as like overhead supply, bearish retest of overhead supply, not a bullish one. But yeah, I mean, I think, look, filled in the gap on the Qs, nice little local G, little VIX pop. What you want to see is break that shit down right here. Break it down. Crush it. And even do this. Right? We want to send the VIX lower, right? And for those that don't know the relationship here, when the VIX bottoms like this, this market is trading off of vol, right? So, I mean, you can see here the relationship between the two. So if we see the VIX get crushed, which is possible, right? And we see a little breakdown and kind of bleed back into like these lows right over here, then you'd probably see us kind of carve out a bottom here and then start moving up again, right? And I think that's probably what we're hoping for.
Yeah, I think the VIX could either do something, obviously what we did kind of in the wake of August, where it had a big range, but it was ultimately ranging. Market was moving higher ultimately, but if it does start to break out again, then it goes without saying that's going to cause continued downside in equities. But I think that range, if we, and I talked about this on our Discord calls, I think if you see the VIX do some sort of large range, it's not inherently a bearish thing. It's only bearish if it starts to break out and move higher.
Do you agree that this is kind of your gotta suppress it level right here, Tommy?
Yes.
Like sub 20. We don't want to see the VIX over 20 again. No ifs, ands, or buts.
What I would say is that was a pretty, inefficient move down. Maybe we take a pop, stab above, and then get back below. Right to the left. See that candlestick that to the downside? Yeah, that's just obviously a pretty thin move there. So if we take a stab up into that
would be painful.
Get sold off pretty quickly. But yeah, that'll be annoying.
That'd be painful.
So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, let's see.
Let's take a look at the dollar. It's not really doing anything today, but of course, when it's trading at these elevated levels, collateral is a little bit less abundant within the market. Liquidity is a little bit less abundant. We're seeing that have a negative impact on the price of risk assets here to start the year.
Yes, let me get rid of these drawings. Come on, there we go. All right, so I mean, man, I would really like this. I mean, this has got to be where DXY rolls over, right? Like we were talking about the trap that we just saw on ETH. Like we're really going to need to see, we're going to need to see this, basically serve as a deviation here. The DXY strength is definitely causing a little bit of, stubbornness with risk assets, right? But I mean, this in theory should be your rollover spot, like this should be our region to reject from, hypothetically. But, there is no denying the local strength here. But, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think we're going to keep kind of like stabbing at these highs or, roll over here pretty soon?
No, we must be topped here. So it really must be from here, like roll over tomorrow or something.
Even tomorrow.
We definitely cannot be going above these levels. It's too good of a technical level that, and yeah, DXY and Forex is being traded by algorithms a lot. So the levels are respected insanely well. And this one must, right? But I'll say what I always said, right? People at resistance tend to get very scared. Sorry, people at resistance that tend to get very bullish, and at support they tend to get very scared. And at support, you expect it to hold, even if it looks scary on lower time frames, and vice versa. So, yeah.
Yeah, let's see if we got any divs here. Yeah, I mean, this should be the spot, man. It really should.
Yeah, the 6 hour looks pretty bearish too.
Yeah, we got some divs forming, right?
Yeah.
I still think we could maybe see an extension into 110, 111, worst case, but it doesn't have to. And I still think you're more than likely going to see the tippity top on the dollar before the inauguration on the 21st.
Do you think they're ramping DXY into the inauguration, Tommy? Is it planned?
I just think the narrative around the party that's coming into power is that they're going to cut fiscal spending, and that's just not really obviously tariffs play a role as well, and I just don't really think that that's necessarily tethered to reality. As I've said, it's a populist presidency. They're going to be stimulating the economy. And I also think having a weaker dollar in general is kind of a bit more beneficial. But I'm not a macroeconomic guru, so I couldn't tell you why that's the case. But I have been reading all parties kind of favor a weaker dollar here throughout the course of 2025.
Hey guys, did something happen with my voice or something?
Yeah, it does sound a little. It sounds like you sucked on some helium or something.
Maybe that's because wait, is it? I had to leave a building.
I thought that I was like hearing something. I thought I was like hallucinating.
I thought you did it on purpose.
No. I think the connection changed or something because I had to leave the house. So let me. I'll try to reconnect. Maybe that flips. But given how funny it is, maybe I should say. Oh, I cannot wait to hear myself from the recording.
I actually was about to message you and be like, "Are you like joking? Like, what's going on?" It sounds really. Like,
This is actually
high pitched.
Jackis's real voice, and he had a voice changer on the whole time.
the I cannot, like, the thing is I cannot hear it, like what's going on or something.
It literally sounds like you inhale helium or something. It's very funny.
Should I stay like this? Because once I reconnect, it will probably be gone.
You could try to drop and come back.
Honestly,
but
it's lightening the mood, so it's fine.
It sounds funny. I don't know.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, whatever
You
happens.
sound like you're like
on the
12
day,
years
like-
old or something. I don't know.
Yeah. All right, I'll try to reconnect.
This is the ETH boomer chart right here. ETH boomers. This is what they trade.
ETH boomers do not like 4K ETH.
Dude.
How is it? Is it?
That's better. Yeah,
Yeah,
now we're back. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't changed a thing. It's just I don't know. I think it's because like I have both phone and headphones connected together, and I was taking the phone with me outside of the house, and then I came back. Maybe because I had to quickly leave.
Yeah. Maybe this is just a little boomer gap fill right here.
Seeing a lot of gap fills. S&P filled the gap. Lower time frame looks like we're seeing buyback. NASDAQ filled the gap from yesterday. So that could just be it. You don't really know. We won't really know until the end of the day today, or at least halfway through the day.
Man, I hope so, Louis. I mean, this is I'm hoping that this is our little gap fill right here, man.
I think the tell will be how Asia responds tonight.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like they're violent, man. Asia's violent. We better run it back up for them.
I cannot wait to hear that voice, man, on the recording. What happened? Like I'm legit the only one who don't know.
It's really funny. You're gonna think it's funny.
The sad thing is that I cannot probably repeat it unless I suppose I take my phone out and then come back. Funny how the tech works, isn't it?
Or the tech doesn't work.
This is why we have AI.
Let's see what the Bitcoin ETFs look like. I don't know. Things still look fine, guys. I mean, what's NVIDIA doing today?
Boom.
Dude, look at that predatory sweep.
Oof,
Dear
that was
God.
brutal.
Dear God. I mean, still a bullish structure, right? But
So far.
for now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Until tomorrow.
brutal.
Until tomorrow.
It's still a bullish structure. Like, you've got all this demand below you. This was just gnarly, this little thing. Oof. I don't know. Still in a range. Dude, I can't tell if is NVIDIA like high time frame distributing here, or is it like I'm low key seeing like the 64K top on Bitcoin from last cycle, but I could also
It's
see
not-
it just like basing out before higher too. I don't know. I don't have a strong opinion on this.
I do. It's not higher time frame distributing, but it's going to go inside of a higher time frame range, similar to what Tesla went through. Like, the thing is that Nvidia is such a strong company with so many profits, is that strong companies like this don't really go into a strong bear market unless there is a like some insane 2008 type of situation. So they usually just stay sideways in that period, which could mean that it could go to like 100 level even at some point, exactly like this. It could mean that, but I do not think, like some bears probably have wild dreams of Nvidia going to like 50 or something. I don't think that's happening.
You think we could see range lows here, Jackus? Like if this is our range, hypothetically? Or is that too deep?
Maybe too deep. Maybe too deep.
Yeah. I mean, maybe
I don't right now. I don't see a reasoning for it.
What do you guys think about Tesla here?
Look at it.
Still good.
But I do agree with this one comment here. We do need Nvidia to kind of lead the market out of this range, because it has been, more or less the asset that has been leading the market higher. It doesn't have to be outperforming everything to the same degree, right? A true liquidity vacuum. But I think when you look at the structure of something like QQQ and then compare it to the structure of Nvidia, it's pretty clear what's been driving, at least to the largest extent, the tech outperformance that we've seen over the last few years. So you do kind of need the breadwinners to continue winning. And so I think you need Nvidia to continue chugging higher, right? It doesn't have to be a parabolic ascent, but it'll definitely be a larger positive for indices to see it moving, higher rather than distributing. That goes without saying, but I mean, I continue to see a ton of similarities between Nvidia and just the general QQQ chart.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say that we do need to see Nvidia like shooting higher. I do not think we even need to see it go up that much. We just basically need to keep it kind of like this slow grind it is in right now, basically. Like, hey, if it's at 180 by end of this year, lots of other stuff can fly a lot, which is what we saw in the past, by the way. So I would tend to lean that way. But I do agree that we cannot like see Nvidia really like deep diving lower. Like that would have to be some systemic risk. Maybe like DXY failing to reject, the yields going into a moon mission or something like that.
I don't know if I'm seeing this or not. You guys see what I'm talking about, though? Like, I can't tell.
Yeah.
I can't. I don't know if I think it's here or like, literally like about to go full parabola. Like we could.
Yeah.
I don't know. It'd be like this more or something. Where are we? I don't know. I'm at a crossroads. I don't have strong opinions on it, right?
Are you guys buying the new 5090 GPU?
I don't even know what that means.
What is that?
Computer chip.
You guys are no PC nerds. The GPU is 5090.
Not a PC nerd.
I am going to have to start looking into a setup because I'll finally be getting settled into my own office in about a month. As of now, I've literally been doing everything this cycle, honestly, my whole career, from a laptop and my phone.
Oh, no.
I don't have a desktop. So, but I am.
I don't
I
have
am
a desktop either, Louis. Don't feel bad.
okay.
It will change your life, I swear. Like your trading will go parabolic after that.
I think it's my edge, honestly.
Have you guys seen that meme where it's like traders will have this setup just to lose like $90,000, and it's like a crazy monitor setup or something?
Yeah.
But you can see it widescreen. That's the point.
That's the only thing that I need it for, is because I share my chart so much. Like I need a bigger screen. Like I'm dealing with a 14-inch screen here.
I just got a 32-inch monitor for Christmas, and it's pretty sick, I have to say.
Yeah,
oh, that's amazing. Yeah.
But I'm a Mac guy. I'm not a PC. So I don't know what I'm gonna do.
What frame rate on it, Tommy?
I don't know, but it's super nice. I already love it. I'll figure it out when I get home. But yeah, it's a sick monitor. So shout out to my brother for that amazing Christmas gift.
Like once you guys go 144 hertz, you can't go back.
A lot of Mac haters in the comments here.
Dude, Macs are unreal.
They all knew I was a Mac guy. They said they all knew it.
I have a Mac too. It's okay.
Yeah.
Don't worry,
What
guys.
are those
These are
those
burglars.
laptops? The ThinkPads or whatever. You guys know what I'm talking about? The ones where it's a pain in the ass to even move your mouse around. I hate those laptops.
That with the red button in the middle of the keyboard.
Yeah, I hate ThinkPads.
Yeah, I've never used one, but I've seen people use them, and I'm just like, what's happened? Like, what are you doing here? Where did you go wrong in life to be using that thing?
Emilio, I've tried 360, but I don't really see that much different from 240. I think 240 is like the most overkill you can get, and you can still feel the difference you feel for going from 60 hertz to 144 as like game changer. Like you can't go back after that because it's so smooth. You will love it, right? I even bought my laptop with 144. I just can't. And by the way, you need to be sure that your computer can manage that frame rate of your monitor, right? Otherwise, it's it's useless. But the difference between 144 and 240 is still like you can still feel it, but it's not that significant. I tend to go with. I decided to go for 175 because because I usually play. As I got boomerish, I now play
Boomerish.
single players in on ultra settings basically, and 175 feels like the sweet spot on that, and the computer can still manage.
I don't know what you're talking about. I just buy laptops, man. Just straight from Apple.
Yeah. I'm on a MacBook Air.
Dude, my dev told me just buy Apple laptops and then plug it into a monitor. I listened to my dev.
So is that what you do? That's what I'm probably gonna have to do.
Dude, I stay in my lane. Like I'm not gonna be out here like, dude, I would build a computer and like immediately get hacked. I like wouldn't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to do that.
You would love it. Like I know you are the guy, Max, that you would love to do that.
I probably would, but I just don't want to learn how to do it and then build something. But I'd probably notice the difference. Like I love gadgets and stuff. Like I have a 49-inch curve monitor. It's just so nice, man. It's so nice.
That's what I need.
Yeah, you just spread out, Discord up, X up, YouTube up, TradingView up, all at once. Max efficiency.
Yeah, I'm like a tab switcher, like every second.
Oh, he's a tab switcher. Guys, let's talk about Sol here. This is not a bearish structure. And the room went silent.
Oh, I
don't know if I have an opinion on the market structure yet, but I would not like to see this turn into a bearish retest on Solana. Yeah.
Hopefully,
but I don't think it looks bad yet, right? Like it's pulled back. It's attempting a PO3 reclaim type of price action structure.
Yeah,
I just wouldn't want. It's like we've been saying, you don't want to see majors really continue to drop, or I mean, maybe Solana ends up turning into some sort of double bottom at that point at like 180, 170, or maybe it makes a lower low if it really breaks down here. But I think you kind of need to see some strength out of majors at these levels.
I really don't see much issue with anything here. It's just normal price behavior, like we had the big shake, like bigger, smaller shakeout than what was August 5th. Remember when we had August 5th and everyone was like, no, this was no capitulation. We still need to get capitulation.
Yeah.
August 5th was big one.
Yeah.
The latest one was strong, but obviously smaller than August 5th. You are not getting August 5th for a while now, in my opinion. And we had, a few days after it, after the latest one in December, prior to Christmas, we now moved higher. Price just made its first little shakeout, right? So I see no worries with that. Everything still looks fine. E is holding our time frame support, Sol holding our time frame support, BTC in the hard time frame reaccumulation range. Like, chill.
I mean, like, this doesn't look bad to me, bro. I don't. I think
I like where it bounced. It bounced where it needed to. And it could just be right now we're flipping that level back into support. Kind of what we're doing on, Bitcoin and ETH right now. Obviously, we overshot it a bit, but I've said this in the past too. When in crypto, like with the amount of leverage build up and the low, we're still a small asset class. Like you'll get the giant wicks to the downside just off cascading liquidations, right? But eventually, if you get as long as your candle body sticks to landing and holds support, you're good. So right now, I mean, we could just be flipping these levels into support, and it's just a little over exaggerated because there was a lot of liquidations built up, like I showed in the beginning of the show. So, I mean, that's still my base case, right? I mean, is this annoying? Yeah, but that's still my base case is that, we're liquidating some, late longs, cleansing the market a bit before we get our move, right? And the market makers are going to continue to do that until the market moves. And once the market actually moves, then they can't do it as much, right? So,
I mean, look at this chart right here, inverted.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, if the chart looked like this, we'd be like, oh, yeah. It's the wrong
Does
one.
remind me of USDT dominance.
Like this, nuke it. Boom. Maybe there.
We're starting to see a small sell-off on the DXY already.
I'm gonna dominate this one right now.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
He did it again. Right. I don't know, let's go with this one. And then you had it drawn like this, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. Now, this reminds me, it's not exactly the copycat, but it does remind me so much of kind of like this one. Although we didn't had this one broken already, but it's pretty much like this. You had the topping range where you sort of deviated from the trend. Maybe I can put like a 3D, maybe weekly, right? That would be more fitting. Now it should be more visible. Right, like USDT dominance bounce here, but pretty much, yeah.
You could even, Jackus, zoom it. It did the same structure more locally on USDT dominance, like on the last little move up.
Yeah,
I see what you're doing here too, but yeah.
The fuck. So likely there is going to be a run for this one, but this should be a good level to whoosh. You're not underwater.
Whoosh.
Hey. Where is my whoosh?
Whoosh. What was the jobs number, anyways, that we got this morning? Haven't even looked at it.
Not sure. I really haven't looked at macroeconomic data. I really think it's more a product of what we're seeing in the bond market right now, where, I mean, bonds are kind of in a free fall. Obviously, yields have been rising in unison with the dollar index. But these are things that have signs of reversal coming around the inauguration. Obviously, we have 2 weeks until we get there, though.
What's this guy waffling about?
Who?
Poo Sabai. He's trying to talk shit about America. Try to get fucking yanked.
Gulf of America.
Greenland will be a state or something. I don't know. It might be like
They want it.
Puerto
They
Rico,
want us to
but
take it over.
I don't want Canada to be part of the United States. I
No.
might be in the minority. Hopefully,
You're good
in
on
the
that.
majority, but I don't know.
And
I
do
don't
you
want
know? Do you know the amount of Americans that died building the Panama Canal? Technically, it should be ours. And Panama holds the rest of the world hostage because they hold that canal. You guys remember what happened in COVID when they had the issue at the canal? Just held up world trade for like weeks. So I know you're laughing and making jokes, but just do your research before you make jokes. Okay? Study America. Study freedom.
Study paper. Louis, how does the canal affect the price of my crypto? Can you explain that to me?
It shouldn't. We just want free flowing trade.
I think generally speaking, looking at this Sol chart, and I'll keep it inverted to keep things interesting, but I think that we need to be rejecting here and then sending lower. So technically this scary pullback should be good buying opportunity. For if it's not, then you are coming up here. The moment you're up here, even if you get a bounce, you are likely coming for this high first.
Mm-hmm.
So as usual, we are at resistance. At resistance, you expect resistance to hold. Not the other way around. Things are looking good.
So it's not over? Is that what you're telling me? Telling me there's a chance?
Wait. In the midst of it is so over, I found there was within me an inevitable we are so back.
I mean, a lot of stuff is just coming in for some beautiful retests right now. It's just so aggressive. That's the problem.
Because you guys don't know how to stop trading leverage.
They're addicted, Louis. Be sensitive.
I'm actually kind of proud of myself. I was prospecting an ETH long yesterday on the move that I was expecting, and I did not pull the trigger on it. Thank God.
Yeah.
I'm a degen, guys, but it's okay. I have good risk management too.
I'll be trading leverage a little bit once we start trending. Because then it's kind of easy mode. But in these
We've
environments,
only been in an ETH range since like February of last year, so we may never trend again, Louis. That's the issue.
It's crypto purgatory.
What does a man have to do for a trend,
I can't believe he didn't cry during Titanic. Do men even have feelings? There will never be another alt season.
Louis, I see you got a chart up in the background. What are you looking at?
What you
I didn't
cooking,
know.
Louis?
Oh, that was just Pepe.
Just Pepe?
Just
Pepe?
Pepe.
It's just
What's
Pepe.
the ticker? What's the address? Just Pepe?
Just Pepe?
Just Pepe.ease? Doesn't work, sir. Someone create a ticker. I can't believe we found a ticker that isn't in existence, because there is always some.
What ticker?
Just Pepe.
That's
I mean,
it.
Just Pepe WEs.
Oh my god.
Louis, you're up on the screen, bro.
Good thing I wasn't looking at anything naughty.
That blue box looks a little naughty, Louis.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
acting as resistance. It's being a little naughty box. But
Turns out, sorry.
no. Turns out. What? I mean, we could just be ranging up here, right? You know, this obviously acted as a resistance. This is like our last bit of supply, this area for Pepe, right? So before, you know, back to range highs. So this is kind of our final boss. So we rejected on a first attempt. We swing failed. So I mean, maybe we range a little bit more. Who knows? Not what we want to hear, not what we want to see, but in reality, can be what's happening. You know, as long as these lows hold, not really concerned. And we are technically at a support level here, which is this little ranging price pinch we put in here over the, you know, the holiday week, couple weeks, right? So we put in this market structure. We're kind of back retesting it once again. So we can form a little range up here before trying for it again. We can even retest these lows before something like this, because we didn't get the breakout yesterday. So we got to take what the market's giving us. But, you know, this is the final boss. So back above there, I'll see it at all-time highs, but it may take a couple tries to get that. So that's kind of what we're dealing with Pepe. And it's not just a Pepe problem. It's a market wide. Like, I mean, like, look, everything's kind of red today. You know,
Yeah.
So it just is what it is. We got to let this work out. I mean, they could be chopping it into the election. I mean, into the inauguration, right? So I assumed that, you know, it was going to be a pump into the inauguration, but obviously that's not what we're seeing. So maybe it's the opposite effect, because I thought, you know, pump into the inauguration, maybe see a cool off for a week or so, and then maybe continue trend. But it looks like we're kind of doing that cool off into the inauguration. So maybe coming out of it, you know, we're going to see that bullish environment that we're looking for. So we will see. We will see.
Oh, I bet the RSI on that BART is just so clean on Bitcoin.
The hourly ETH RSI is the lowest it's been in like months.
Dear God.
The art of the BART, the art of the BART. When it
Like-
loses that 50 level with price action like that, you can get the big fat BART candles. That used to be one of my staples.
Go back to
short
see.
setups.
I mean, even on the 15-minute, but go back to see how long. Like, when's the last time we were at this low on the RSI? Like,
If you remember the Art of the Bart article.
Truly few.
like yeah, like that's a
Right
crazy
here.
move. Yeah. So good news is, anytime the RSI gets this low, likely at or near the bottom. And on such a small move too. Like, this isn't a big move. You know, pretty wild.
We'll
Well,
be
just
changing
like-
the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. I can't believe that's a real headline.
I feel like we will see something like this.
I agree. Got a lot of day left too. A lot of day left.
Oh, good. I can't wait.
I mean, I think we're good as long as we can hold this area, right? If you could kind of form a bottom in here and just continue. This was a rinse. If you lose it, this is obviously in play. Something like that. Obviously annoying, a pain in the ass. Maybe bottom coming into the inauguration or around the inauguration and then go.
I still think that taking out that wick, Louis, from early December is just crowded, man.
Yeah.
No. Everybody wanted that. And maybe this was the move up that convinced people it was off the table now.
Yeah. Flip their bias, trap them, get the real move.
And then take the wick.
That's max pain for both sides.
I don't know.
That's max pain for everybody.
I don't know if I think that's happening though, man. I don't know.
It's not my base case. We've seen before that we could literally do these little blips and then just go like that. So we'll see. That's why this blue box is like, okay, we could wick below it, come back to this little order block here, but as long as we hold this, there's a good chance we could just turn it around, and this is just a hard retest, right? Of this key level we just flipped, which was 99.5. So we will see. But we got to look at all possibilities. But it all depends on what this fucking thing does. Oh, excuse my language, but is the DXY. I think
the puzzle, bonds and the dollar, just what everybody loves to talk about.
Yeah, I still do think this is the area we top on the DXY. But I said this in the Discord call this morning. Like, this thing could chop around, for a couple days, or a week or two, before putting in that top and kind of distributing up here. But like, we can do a lot of this before finally getting back below, this key level. But this looks like a false break to me. This looks like a false break, back inside, little mean reversion bounce, and then roll over and die. So we'll see.
You guys are such patriots. Like, you want your currency collapse. Come on.
Good old American greed.
Well, to be fair, there's other currencies in the DXY. We just want them all to go down a little bit. That's it.
We didn't make the bet, but we do have to lay in it. So
you mean you want the other currencies against the dollar to strengthen?
I want my digital assets to be worth more. That's all that I want. I want ETH to break 4K because I can't stand looking at it under 4K anymore. It's crazy.
The struggle is real.
Dude, ETH is just something else, man.
Let's look at this. I mean, look at that 10-day candle we're putting in. That looks like a topping pattern to me, topping candle to me right here. Nice little evening star. And again, like, going back to this comparison, which was, the 2017 cycle, we got above, these highs, but we made a top in, middle of December. We didn't get back below and start our downtrend until pretty much, end of January. So this was like about, 3 weeks to a month up here in the deviation, right, before starting a year-long downtrend. So this, as I'm expecting to be the area of the top, can take a little more time to play out, a little more shenanigans before getting back below. And this is the area I'm talking about. It's this 106. Like, if you get back below 106, you get a bearish retest, you're going to do at least a multi-month downtrend, in my opinion. At least come back to here. If not, lose the range completely like we did here. And as you guys know, this chunk of time between December 2016 and January 2018 was like a massive Bitcoin and altcoin bull run, right? So this is what we're looking for, right? So if we've got to wait a couple more weeks for 6 to 9 months to 12 months of bullishness, fine with me. But we have to see this be the top, right? In this area, we can't. I can't see the dollar coming back up here. If we continue to do this, there's something different going on, in my opinion. So we will see.
Man,
I agree with the target. Maybe even a little lower over the next few years, but yeah, it's it really is causing a lot of strain on financial markets, the strength the dollar index has had. Jackus, I'm curious what your thoughts are on things like the 10-year and obviously TLT. I know they're a little bit different, but they do trade somewhat correlated to each other.
Yeah, I think, as I said, it all comes pretty much to the DXY as well. So the 10-year yield cannot be going higher. Like locally, sure, but like a little candle upwards, yeah. But DXY has to be topped. The 10-year yield has to be topped here. Like, I think this is probably the only issue in the market right now. But again, looking at ETH, I think it and others pretty much, I think it gets solved, and I think it kind of begins with Trump's inauguration. Sorry.
So do we think that we're going to see continued weakness into the inauguration, or it's more likely that we just see continued chop? There might not be much of a difference for things like altcoins, but obviously for majors, we can see a little bit more range in the face of weakness coming from kind of these risk proxies and TradFi.
I think even the 10-year should be dropping, to some degree. Like, I think I think the cycle top is when we will see the 10-year yield drop to, like 2.5% or something. Like, that's probably the cycle top to me. The problem would be, it would be a problem, if the 10-year yield were to go higher from here, it would be a problem. Like, we cannot sugarcoat this, we cannot overlook this. But I still will say this: DXY is at resistance, big one that I called for a long time. Now that we are at it, everyone is stressing it, and historically, it has proved to me that whenever that's been the case, that when I had some level that I was expecting and then people were fearful at it, it usually tends to hold. So I'll just go with that. That's pretty much the only thing that we can do anyway. So
yeah, I noticed we're getting a little bit of a move on the move index today, up 5%, but it really doesn't look that bullish as a whole. The financial plumbing index should more or less be what that's called. I think my one bit of skepticism for the 10-year is that I could see it maybe making a marginal high, which, I've long compared TLT to kind of the inverse Bitcoin top. If the 10-year is going to trade as correlated, it doesn't look quite the same as TLT. As we said, they are kind of different assets, or rather they measure different things. But I have been kind of waiting for TLT to potentially make another low for a few weeks now. So we'll see if it does. I think if it does, like wherever we are trading, that's almost certainly the low. And then you begin to see treasuries move higher after that. But I do think it will co-align very well with the dollar top.
Talking about looking similar to the Bitcoin top. This kind of looks like the starts of it too.
Well, this needs to be a fake breakout, and you need to see the 10-year drop below that 4% mark. Like, and at that point, it's really send time for everything. And you kind of need to pick your bets. Like, is the 10-year yield bluffing here, or is it a real breakout?
I think it's bluffing, but obviously, like we've said at the start of the show, we very much have a narrative before the inauguration that there's not going to be as much fiscal spending. Tariffs are going to potentially be imposed. These are things that typically have, or that cause pressure on risk assets, cause yields to go higher. I'm just going to keep reiterating. I think around the time of the inauguration, you see these narratives reverse as reality sets in, and we have a populist presidency with a full mandate from the public. That is more likely to lead to more fiscal spending, more stimulus, no matter what the narrative is.
Yeah. Guys, what do you think of this USDC dominance chart?
Ooh, that's interesting.
Can you put it in log mode for a second? Huh. Fill that FVG. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we just recently had, some Tether FUD, and there was a little bit of swapping into USDC. But I still think Tether dominance is certainly a lot more important than USDC dominance. But this chart is probably the full picture that should be acknowledged.
Legends say it's a bear market.
It'll be interesting to see the form that this takes throughout the rest of the cycle. I feel like there's going to be a whole new structure that comes out of this thing, because we were in that channel for so long. We finally just broke out of it.
Yeah.
But I think lower. I mean, I definitely think lower. I don't know how, I don't know like exactly where, but I mean, I feel like we should at least go back to, at this point, given the breakdown and how it's been trading, somewhere around last cycle's low over there, like 2%-ish, maybe. But yeah, like somewhere in there at minimum. Yeah, I would think. See that whole cluster to the left, Jackus, like the 64, the first top on Bitcoin, right there. That's gonna be a stubborn region for sure. So yeah. I think that's a pretty good candidate for like a cycle top, truthfully.
I agree.
At some point, I feel like should we bring it up, or is it worth discussing the whole the bird flu?
Bird flu.
2 tinfoil hat. The reason I ask is because a ton of pharma companies are up today, unsurprisingly.
They're running it back.
Surely not.
Of course.
No one's gonna fall for it again. Like I hope not. Like
some people will.
Yeah, these stocks are down bad. They're pumping like 12% today, but it's like that on-chain ticker. that's down 99% from the high. It's like a Bowden, for example. I was looking at Bowden over the weekend. It was up 30 to 40%. But if you look at the chart, you don't even see the pump.
Just watching Jackus do his thing here.
You can kind of feel, like here, right? East was making lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, and then it rolled over. And I feel like that's the same here, like lower low, lower high, lower low, and then it's going to roll over.
Yeah.
Whoosh. Whoosh.
I'm tired of this chop, Jackus. It's time to do the whoosh.
I'm tired, Grandpa.
I'm tired.
You're now underwater.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think this is a good place to wrap the show up, guys. We're getting into time. So, Tommy, do us the honor.
All right, guys. Let me share my screen. We can officially wrap things up. Thank you guys, as always, for tuning in to today's episode of Market Check. If you enjoyed the content that you heard today, if you're looking to join the BB family, guys, we have a few potential options for you to be able to do so, starting with some go-to products for you to be able to conquer this cycle to the best possible, or to the best of your ability. Of course, that starts with your go-to tool for this cycle. That is the BB terminal. So whether or not you are an active trader, trading lower time frames, trading derivatives, trading open interest data, we have the tool for you. Whether or not you are an investor looking to, of course, trade this market a little bit more long-term, make long-term decisions on your investments based on data, and of course, lots of other syndication, we have the tool for you as well. And of course, whether or not you are an on-chain degen, a meme coiner per se, we will soon have the tool for you as well. So make sure to check out the BB terminal, guys. As we always say, the prices of these products will go up as the prices of the market does. So make sure to check that out. It is linked in the description below, just like the next few things that I'm about to mention, such as your go-to source of alpha for this cycle, guys, our Discord, our premium Discord plus Telegram. Obviously, we have an incredible community. We give you guys 4 or 5 hours of alpha every single day through voice calls. And of course, you also get access to our thoughts on the market in real time, which often includes our positioning. So just like the BB terminal, check that out. That is linked in the description below. Of course, if you're also looking to hone your educational base or even reach trading level mastery, we have the tool for you as well, guys. And that is the BB Academy. Come learn from the entire Because of Bitcoin team, not just how we approach markets, but how we analyze them, how we trade, and everything in between. It's invaluable to be able to learn from so many different types of traders, right? I mean, we have a pretty diverse group of individuals here at BB. So check that out as well. And, maybe the downside volatility has been a little bit difficult for you to stomach here over the last week. Maybe picking winners. Obviously, AI agents have been a big one. Meme coins were a big one in Q3, Q4. Picking winners has been a bit difficult as well. Well, you have the option for the team to potentially manage money for you as well. So check out BB Wealth Management, guys. We are an SEC registered hedge fund. And of course, as we always say, we trade digital assets in a way that looks to capture their asymmetric history for upside returns while also balancing the downside risks posed in any financial market. So check out all of these fantastic products linked in the description below, guys. And if you enjoyed Market Check today, we'll be back for another episode tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard. But as well, make sure to check out Wabi's show, Market Talk. That is a Twitter space hosted through our X account. I said Twitter and X in the same sentence. That's kind of funny for me to think about, but I'm still getting used to the shift in the name. But make sure to follow Wabi's account as well as BB on X so you can be notified, not just when we schedule those spaces, but also when we go live. Thank you guys, as always, for tuning in. That is it from us. Like I just said, we will see you again tomorrow morning, bright and early at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're a European, it'll probably be a little bit later for you. But if you're American, we'll see you in the morning. Thank you again, as always, guys. As always, as well. Stay safe.